Hi there, I'm Miriam and welcome to Miriam's Manor. You guys, today I have a super quick garden video for you. I am just going to be walking you through, showing you what I am harvesting today. I am getting ready to harvest because maybe tomorrow or the next day I am going to come through and do a massive prune. I have such an aphid problem and it is spreading to everything, and I think at this point, in order to save everything, I need to cut everything back dramatically and spray. So check this out and I will show you guys all what I am able to gather today. Okay, so I'm going to start off in this front bed here, mainly drawing your attention to the bottom of this because I don't know if you guys recall, but in my last video, I found something that was burrowing in my garden beds, and since then, I have discovered that it is an entire family of rabbits. So I think they've been climbing into all of this foliage that's hanging over the side of the beds and climbing up into the garden beds that way. I also tied this scallop squash up because this had started to trail over on the ground, and I think they were crawling up this plant to get into this garden bed. So I cut everything off up these sides. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but everything is just growing like crazy. I just cut all this stuff back a couple days ago to get everything off the ground, but it's spilling over the edges again. This particular scallop squash plant was one of the ones that I showed you guys that I was treating that had powdery mildew really bad. You can see that this leaf here is still affected. I'm going to pull this one off today. And I did see another one along in here as well that I'm going to pull off. But the new growth on these, look at these leaves. They're coming back so strong. I'm so excited because this plant is rebounding and beginning to look healthy again. So I'm really excited. I've been treating it once a week with neem oil, and this was one of the plants that suffered the most because this was the bed that had the most burrows in it. So a lot of the root systems from this banana pepper plant here, as well as the scallop squash, was really chewed away. So I'm hoping that these plants stay intact. I am going to be harvesting all of this fruit off of this banana pepper plant today. You can see I've got some red fruit on here too. It turns completely red if you leave it sitting on there, and it actually does taste like a red bell pepper, which was a really nice surprise. My zucchini plant here has completely rebounded. It was infested very badly with powdery mildew, and all of that is gone. I'm so excited. But look at my cucumber plant. This thing is suffering so bad with the worst aphid infestation. I have been spraying this with some soapy water and to no avail. It seemed to have been working at first, but then the aphids came back with a vengeance, and they are just all over on the tops and the bottoms of these leaves. So I'm going to try spraying it today to see if I can save it and see if I can just spray it with some neem oil, see if that'll do the trick. Otherwise, I am going to cut this entire cucumber plant back because this is right next to my zucchini plant that is finally rebounded and which is actually producing fruit. This plant has only produced one cucumber, so I'm willing to forego this plant for the sake of saving my zucchini and stopping the spread of these aphids if I possibly can. So moving right along, I will show you my bell pepper plant, and if you look at the leaves, you can see aphids have come to this space as well. I do have a ton of fruit on here that I will show you guys that I'm going to be harvesting off today so that I can spray this with some neem oil to try to get rid of these aphids. This is the name of the game with summer gardening. All of the bugs come out with a vengeance during the summertime, and it is one of the hardest times of year to garden, for me at least. I thoroughly enjoy gardening in the fall and in the spring, but the summer months, although I love still harvesting, it takes a lot more work. So my Sicilian cherry tomato plant, this big behemoth here, I will also be harvesting a lot of the fruit off of this as well. And I'm going to show you the other tomato plant that I will also be harvesting from today. I think you can see here where one of the rabbits got one of these tomatoes before I could finish tying everything up. So I need to harvest all of this stuff off of this tomato plant and spray this area as well. I don't see any aphids yet on this, but I'm really just wanting to spray preventatively in the rest of these areas to control the outbreak. Since this banana pepper plant has the most fruit on it, I'm going to start here with harvesting this plant. And I'm going to harvest all of the mature fruit off of this today. And what I do when I'm harvesting these, I pull all of the leaves back and just take the fruit and snip just above where that stem is, makes that connection with the fruit. And I'm just going to go through here with clean shears and take everything off. Now that one is still small, so I'm going to leave that one on here. But one of the things that I just want to point out is, especially because I have been battling with a lot of powdery mildew, aphids, and things like that, I always will grab clean shears while I am harvesting. And the shears that I cut the infected branches off of before, I use a different pair of shears and then I clean those with like Clorox water to make sure that I'm killing all of the powdery mildew as well as any aphid eggs that might transfer over before I use those back in my garden again to harvest or prune. All right, so now to get this half-eaten tomato off of my plant, I am going to snip this and just put this off to the side so that I can put it in my trash pile. And then I'm going to pull this other one off and get it in my clean bowl to take inside. And you guys, I am super excited about this tomato because this is the first one that is ripened that I have harvested off of this particular plant. So I am hoping that this one is super sweet. Okay, so I did see a scallop squash that was ready to be harvested when I walked by here earlier. So I'm just going to lift this and snip this off. And what is this on the bottom of this fruit? Can you guys see this? I have no idea what this milky looking substance is, but I am definitely not going to eat it. That's the first plant that's done that. So I am going to put that with the tomato and put it in my trash pile. And I have a couple other tomatoes that I'm going to let sit on the vine for maybe another day or two and let them get just a little bit more red and harvest those tomorrow. All right, so moving on to the zucchini. I know that I saw one the other day that, yeah, look at this. It looks so pitiful. This actually stayed on the vine a little bit too long. I did forget about it and it started to kind of wilt on the vine, but I do have another one back here that is still good that I need to harvest off. If you guys are working with your zucchini plants, FYI, wear gloves. The leaves are so prickly as well as the stems on these, so, and they kind of sit in your skin once you rub against them. So do yourself a favor and wear some gloves. All right, and moving right along to my bell pepper plant, I know that I probably am going to have some rotten fruit on this plant because, yep, here we go. Here is one. I did not harvest for a week, and some of this fruit just sat way too long on the vine. And this one is still good, so I'm going to hang on to this one, but I've got a pile going at this point already of things that are going in the trash pile. This is what happens when you delay harvesting, even for several days here in this heat. Once the fruit ripens, you really have to get it off the vine in this Arizona heat because it will just over ripen very quickly. So I don't know if you guys have that same problem gardening in your climates, but it is a big issue here in this Arizona desert for me. So these two peppers look good. I am going to add them to my bowl and show you guys what I've collected so far. This bowl is pretty deep and it is getting filled up rather quickly here. So I still have to do my cherry tomatoes next. So here we go. These little tomatoes are the sweetest tomatoes I have ever grown. They, again, are the Sicilian cherry tomato variety, and they are so delicious. You guys, I come out here quite a bit and pop these off as just a snack. My kids do as well. They come out and harvest these for me almost daily, and they eat so many of them before they even make it inside the house. If you have not grown this variety, I would definitely recommend trying it because it's a fast grower. It produces a ton of fruit, low maintenance, and the fruit is just so super sweet. So as I was harvesting my tomatoes, I noticed that the vines from the cucumbers have grown into this tomato plant. You can see this attachment right here. That's actually a cucumber um, vine growing in here along with the flower, which means my tomatoes probably are also going to have a huge aphid problem. Um, I am going to spend some time after I harvest all of this fruit off inspecting this plant and seeing if I do in fact have an issue as well with this tomato plant. So this is what I've got today. All of these items here are going straight to the trash and not inside my house either. And this is going to go inside. I'm going to wash this fruit up, further inspect it, and pack this up inside. But most of this looks good in here to me, so I think that I'll be okay with all of this in here. And I'm so excited about this tomato plant. I can't wait to slice into this. I will let you guys know on the next video how sweet this fruit really was. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today while I harvested in my garden. I will be releasing another garden video in the next few days, just basically showing you how I am going to chop everything in here back. And try to control this aphid problem. So stay tuned for that video to come. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up for this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're interested, you can become a member. Go to my main page and click on the join tab and it will take you from there on how to get set up as a member. But until I see you again, may your life and your garden produce good fruit. Bye.